Just caught wife of 18 years. I got a friend request on Facebook from a woman I didn't know. We had some mutual friends, so I figured it was okay to accept. Turns out this woman had caught my wife and her husband together, right in their bed. She even had her daughter with her when she walked in. They thought they were friends, which made it all the more shocking. So here's the setup. I had dropped my wife off at another friend's house so they could hit up this expo for the weekend. Later, I found out her friend was already there, and I spotted this other guy's truck parked on the street. As soon as I left, I started getting messages about what was really going on. I rushed back, and sure enough, his truck was gone. The woman confirmed it was definitely his. Now my wife and I have 2 kids. For months, she's been using our daughter as an excuse to go to this friend's house. The friend was actually covering for her while my daughter stayed overnight with her daughter. Apparently, this guy was even coming over to the friend's house while my daughter and wife were there. I was piecing all this together right after dropping her off. Tried calling her, but she didn't pick up. I decided to text her that she was caught, and she denied it. After a few back-and-forth texts, she finally admitted it. I'm crushed, but at least I know now and don't have to put up with an unfaithful wife any longer. Here's another kicker. She doesn't work, but I do, and I work a lot to support us. I got a bonus last week for $8,000, and it's all gone, along with my paycheck. She's really put our family in a bad spot, wrecking not just ours, but the other family too. I've never cheated and can't understand why she did. Now I'm left wondering how many times this has happened over the years. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now let's take a look at what other users had to say. User 1 says you have to leave her. If you don't, you won't rest well forever. If you do, you will go through a tough time briefly. Some people here will tell you, don't leave the house, don't start dating. That is not the best advice. These things might work for some and might be harmful to others. User 2 says ask her to leave. Update me?
User 3 says, unfortunately, you might also need to consider getting a paternity test for your children. Your situation sounds challenging, and it might be a good idea to find a reliable attorney. Consider the possibility of being temporarily out of work, as not having a job might impact alimony. Additionally, look into whether infidelity affects divorce proceedings in your state.
User 4 says you and his wife should send them both to the friend who supported them. Since she wanted them together so much, she can house them.
User 5 says, 35-year-old male here. You have all my full support. This is a very tough moment, but you will be stronger. It's challenging dealing with someone so self-centered. You work hard, and she is unfaithful. It's unsettling. She will realize she messed up when she has to find work. Do not take her back. If you do, she will never respect you. The only way she can respect you, if you genuinely want that for love, is by respecting yourself. As long as you respect yourself, she will respect you. In this case, to respect yourself, there's only one thing to do. Let her go forever.
User 6 says, hey, the friend who's covering for her needs to be called out. Contact the husband and let him know what his wife is up to. It's a birds of a feather situation.
User 7 says, that's tough, man. Sorry to hear that. User 8 says, if you decide to divorce her, consider mentioning how your wife left your children at a friend's house during an affair during the hearing. This might help you secure a better custody agreement.
User 9 says my husband's ex-wife did the same thing with her boss. She ended her own marriage, the boss's marriage, since they all worked together, and the guy still didn't end up with her. He married someone else. She's still alone and ruined a great thing because she was unwise to give up the man I have now. Thankfully.
User 10 says, dude, my ex-wife's birthday was in January, and I had received an $8,000 bonus for Christmas, so I hid it from her. I went to her mom, who was a travel agent, and booked us a trip to Hawaii. She had to keep it a secret for over a month. Then, since my cousin owns a jewelry store and my ex wanted an antique white gold wedding ring, I took money out of my savings and bought it. On her birthday, I was planning to give it to her, but I caught her cheating that same day. I was floored. She sat there crying. I pulled out the wedding ring, showed it to her, then put it back in my pocket. I also showed her the trip and put that back in my pocket as well. I called my buddy who lived 3 streets away and asked him and his wife to come over. When they arrived, I told them to sit down and offered them a beer. Then I said I had a gift for them, pulled out all the paperwork I had for the trip, handed it to them and said, have fun for 10 days. My wife sat there watching, and then I looked at her and said, get out. Just get away from me. I don't want to do anything I'll regret, and I don't want to see you right now.
User 11 says, take that cash, get a lawyer, and get out of that situation. You can't have love without respect. She does not respect you. If you give her a pass, you will later regret it. User 12 says I'm in the same situation. My wife was unfaithful. I discovered it and gathered evidence, then I left her. Fortunately, we don't have children. I empathize with you, but you need to leave for your own self-respect. User 13 says, first, I'm so sorry, brother. I know your pain. You are not alone, and you can get through this. Not just surviving, but thriving someday. I had a somewhat similar experience. First, good for you. It sounds like you are handling this well so far. I would tell her not to bother coming home. She is not welcome. Consult with an attorney immediately to find out your rights where you live. Are you in a no-fault state? If not, what kind of evidence do you need to prove infidelity? Is the testimony of that other woman enough, and will she help you? Can you get custody of the kids if you want it? Save everything, her admission texts, the messages from that lady, etc.? You may be able to use this in court too. Plus, when she likely tries to flip the narrative with friends and family, just make this information public. Get an STI test as soon as possible. Get your finances and other things in order. Separate your finances and cancel any joint credit cards. Seriously consider getting a DNA test on your child or children. Go completely gray rock on her in the meantime. Give her nothing emotionally. Block her on everything except for email, and only to discuss her time with the child or children. Anything else, tell her to contact your attorney. Be prepared for her to love bomb you as a result. She will suddenly be so sorry, willing to do anything, etc. Narcissists always do this when they are about to lose the person they were using. Get to the gym. Go to therapy. Get therapy for your child or children too. Reconnect with old friends and hang out with your closest friends. Start a new hobby or pick an old one back up. Get close with your faith if you are a person of faith. Also, do not try and understand why or get closure. You won't understand because you're not a cheater. I wish you, your daughter, and any other kids you may have the best. User 14 says, I work with a guy who had been with his wife for 28 years. He finally caught her cheating, and she admitted she had been since they met. Paul said he had many suspicions over the years, but chose not to believe them. User 15 says, brutal, fudge, that's brutal. See a lawyer as soon as possible. Separate your bank and investment accounts if you have joint ones. Control the narrative, get out ahead of her with evidence of her cheating, and let family and friends know as soon as possible. And know this, as a man you can recover both financially and emotionally. In fact, you have a huge advantage. Men age like Sean Connery, and women age like Sean Connery. You can rebuild and live a peaceful and happy life without her. User 16 says, please leave her.
User 17 says, you have been misled and deceived by someone who has been unfaithful. It's important to address the situation. Consider seeking legal advice and moving forward with your life. Trust may be difficult to rebuild, and thoughts of her being with someone else could persist. Staying in the relationship could be challenging. Wishing you the best.
User 18 says, that's unfortunate, but now you know and need to make the right decision. Let her know she's free to go with whoever she chooses.
User 19 says, please keep us updated.
User 20 says, I feel you, brother. Mine was in 19 years, and I found out about 3 to 4 weeks ago. She was going on walks for her mental health, and the guy across the road, who I saw as a friend, was making a move while I was stuck at home watching the kids, unable to leave. I asked her to leave the moment I found out. She's still seeing this guy every day, and it's really upsetting me. I wish I could say it's going to be a quick journey through the range of emotions, but I've not been able to get through it yet. There are many people who say, just let her go, you'll be better off, but you have to push through a lot of different thoughts before reaching that point. A lot of negative comments can actually set you back a few steps. Get yourself to a doctor as soon as possible, and start looking for a counselor to help you navigate the stress that's coming. I wish you the best of luck, mate. If you need to chat with someone who's dealing with the same stuff right now, feel free to reach out in private message. Happy to voice call or connect on Discord, whatever works.